How's it going? I think everybody already knows by now that Cache is soon to be replacing Overpass in the active duty map pool. It is a blessing, but in my opinion, also a curse. I think Overpass is a fantastic map. It is maybe a little big, and I know that on T side you do have to have a lot of coordination to have success. So it does make sense that it's the least picked and played map, I believe, even in the professional scene as well. I do wish it was something more like Mirage or Inferno. I think Mirage is just, it's stale. It's overstayed its welcome. It needs a new facelift. In Inferno, I think we can all agree that it's just a bad map. I think the design is terrible. Banana's a horrible design. B-bomb site, you know, if it gets taken, it's basically insta-save. It's just, it's not a good map. But I digress. I wanted to make this video and quickly show, or as quickly as I can, show some non-traditional smoke methods. So for starters, Z. I think everybody pretty much knows the standard like 3 and 4 spot right here, smoke to smoke Z. The only problem with that is the smoke typically lands about like right here, and there's way too much spillover. This is just not a good smoke. The CTs can shift walk through this. They can jump up on the rail and get a pick on people crossing. It's just not good. I have found a smoke that lands way more consistent than the run throw there. And I do believe it's faster. I haven't done that testing myself, so I can't say for certain. It also bounces a little different, so I'm not sure the timings. I do feel like it's faster, but it's easier to throw. It's more consistent. So what you want to do is in this big old rusty spot here towards the middle, you're going to see this big black spot right there. I can even buy a scout here to show you. So this big rusty dark spot right here, and to the right of it is going to be another one. When you're zoomed in, it just looks like a big old dark line. You can't really see anything. But when you actually have like a smoke out, gun out, whatever, you can see a big dark spot. It thins out and another dark spot. So you just put your crosshair right on that second dark spot. You're going to run throw, and when you hit this horizontal line is when you're going to jump. So run, jump, throw. It is going to bounce, like I said, but it does land basically center and deep every single time. This is a fantastic flush smoke. There's no spillover. You can't play in this close section right here by the door and get an angle over. You can't boost and see over or anything like that. This is the smoke that I think everybody should know. Again, I think it's the easiest. I'll show it one more time. Dark spot here, run, jump, throw. I cannot get this smoke to really fail or have a whole lot of variance or variance at all. So definitely learn that one. Show your teammates. Fantastic smoke. Next, I wanted to actually show crisscross smokes, and not in the traditional sense. Again, traditional would be more so this door frame thrown from here and from here, looking at the top of the ceiling, basically at these white spots. The only problem with the crisscross smokes when they do land, that's obviously just really vague. The jump up. If you wanted to scale towards vents, your highway or white box is going to be completely exposed. Same with your Z. If there's somebody holding like a deeper off angle, you're exposed. So it's good for getting you out, but it's bad for taking the vent space. Situational, maybe that's what you want, but if you wanted to get there a little bit more free, shout out to Wraith for actually finding this. If you get into this corner and have a teammate drop you a smoke, if you look at this ladder here, very far right side of the ladder handle, and then where it meets the roof, left and right click jump throw, and then looking at this sign here, there's a rusty spot. Hopefully you can see that. You're going to crouch, jump throw there. He kind of found a workaround to that, and it does get the job done. It blocks you from highway, but it doesn't block you from the deep kind of off Z angle. What is nice about this is even jumping up at the very top, you can actually play around the smoke to the right side. You can actually peek this. Most people, if like you were holding this, you're going to be expecting maybe a run through here, but you wouldn't really expect it over there. So he kind of did find a way to combat that, but after seeing that video, I wanted to find my own way and hopefully do it a little bit better, and I actually did exactly that. So if you have a teammate drop you a smoke here, if you look at these 3 dots, let me pick up that scout, these 3 rusty dots that make a little triangle here. This one is a little less obvious when you're not zoomed in, but the other 2 are pretty obvious. If we look at that and go to the top left of this vertical line, basically what makes this box here, you're going to jump throw this, And after that, you're going to take that second smoke and go up to the left at that third rusty spot and jump through that. So again, here and here. And what that's going to look like, it does look like it's landing pretty similar, but it actually doesn't. So this actually does everything. This does your standard cross smoke, but it actually extends better to block off the highway or white box, as well as the jump up from Z. You are not exposed anywhere. You get this whole space for free. There's no gaps in the middle. There's no gaps in the left. You can't even, when the smoke is up, see over it from on top of the railing or the top part right here. So I will show that one more time. Maybe I'll show it with the scout. So here, top left here. And just right on that jump throw. And again, that is how they land. These are fantastic. I think based off of positioning, not only does the coverage cover a lot more, it's a lot better for cutting off sight lines, but based on positioning, I think it's easier for a teammate to just drop you a smoke and spawn and you do it and they kind of do their own thing rather than having somebody follow you over here and dropping you a smoke into this corner. Another problem that I've actually ran into when I was throwing this a lot more commonly, or often rather, is the smoke rolling under the truck and you just physically can't get it. So that's a downside to that too. And again, from your standard crisscross smokes, I think it's just overall better. Next up, I actually wanted to show some A smokes. Again, more of that like standard throw for like a cross smoke would be just off of your green box. That works fine, dandy, nothing really wrong with it. A lot of people will go into this corner and throw these. I think this is actually a video that Austin CS made, so shout out to him. These smokes I don't like whatsoever. This smoke I think is fine. There's really nothing wrong with it. It works. The fork smoke I think is atrocious though. The smoke, just like Z smoke, extends way too far, gives too much space for a CT to lurk through, and even the backside of fork is entirely open. If that's what you're trying to achieve and you're trying to like fight this angle and take space, then sure, it gets the job done. If all you're trying to do is leave fork open and have everybody cross the site, it gets the job done, whatever. But again, this video is more non-traditional smokes. So I found these three from the same spot. If you just actually kind of walk forward over here, you're actually going to hit this clipping that basically ends right here. You're going to get in this corner. You're going to use your grenade indicator. And what you're going to do is find this dark circle right here, part of that roof. What you're going to do is put the -3Y with the little plus on that dark circle, or dark spot rather, and throw, -2Y and throw, and -1Y and throw. So depending on what you're trying to throw, you can throw cat, you can throw back red, and you can throw fork all from here with just going the vertical change, and that is it. So if you have two teammates throw you smoke, you can do an entire execute or an entire fake right here. If you're trying to hit it, you can have somebody throw you smoke and just throw like your fork in your back sight. But I'll show you what those look like. So your -3Y, -2Y, and -1Y. You always want to throw them in that order. I found that throwing them in that order causes them to bloom pretty close in like intervals, like time-wise. This smoke does not extend too far out. It covers the back of fork, covers here perfect, covers cat perfect. The only downside, just be aware, is if anybody's playing on E-Box, they can see over this. They can see fork. That is for any of these two smokes that you throw, no matter where they're thrown from. Always these two angles, just be careful of. Same with this one. But again, how those land allows you to just like before, shift walk, take that space behind the site, which is really, really nice. I'll throw those one more time. Again, this weird corner due to clipping, -3Y, -2Y, -1Y. Always in that order. And again, if you only get one person to throw you smoke, throw -3Y, -2Y, leave out the -1Y. That is your cat. That's the one that you can probably go without, but these two are pretty essential. And lastly, to wrap things up, I wanted to show a bee smoke, and it's not tree, it's not heaven. I think most people know how to throw the tree smoke. Heaven, I think, is horribly inconsistent right now. The best way to throw it is with it landing like right here, and it's just, well, maybe a little different. It doesn't have that spillover there. But it's terrible. It offers way too much lurk potential. There is a way to get it to land deep, but it's pixel perfect, and you have to bounce it off of the corner here. It's just not viable. What I actually wanted to show off is your checkers cross smoke. Now, that traditional way of throwing it would just be kind of at the top of that triangle on the run, just throwing it. This smoke works, it's great, gets the job done. There's nothing wrong with this. I actually would recommend throwing this smoke 90 to 95% of the time. If you wanted to lurk through this smoke, you do have that potential, but the downside to that is if you wanted to clear checkers, you are exposed to every single angle except for right here at about this point. Now, I wanted to try to find a little bit of a lurk specific smoke rather than a cross checkers smoke. So again, I would recommend throwing that majority of the time, but if there's a couple rounds you want to be a little cheeky and try to get free kills and start making CTs kind of question things, throw this smoke. I think it's great for my testing personally. I've had a lot of success. From this pipe here that connects to the big old unit here, the very base of it, you're going to see this like 3/4 circle or ring. And just at the very top of that ring where it connects, you're just going to throw it. It barely fits through this gap and it goes deep. Now with this smoke, you can still cross checkers. There's a lot more room for error though, because heaven's a lot more open. Your sight, depending on your angles, is a lot more open. But again, this was more of like a lurk specific smoke. So if you get close to the smoke and crouch and cross into it and then stand, you actually have, here, I'll throw it again here. You actually have much greater lurk potential because you're not exposed to the entirety of the site. You're actually only, even if you walk into checkers, exposed to your headshot and right side default. So minimizes the amount of areas you have to look when trying to lurk. If you have a teammate throw like the molly at the same time, you pretty much can just walk this for free without checking it. I've done that a couple of times as well. It's actually pretty solid lurk smoke. Again, I would not throw this every single time. And a caveat as well to the smoke is if you don't crouch, you are entirely exposed to sight at this angle. So if I try to walk this, I'm exposed. Like they're gonna see me. If I crouch and walk it, they won't. So just be aware of that. Again, depending on the angle, I think if somebody's playing like right here in front of the site, they can see the top of your head even in crouched, but I don't think really many people are going to play there. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to show off. Again, a few just non-traditional smokes that are pretty cool. With this map releasing, I might make more of these videos if you guys want to see more of your standard smokes for not only T, but CT as well, even Molly lineups, flash lineups, HE stuff. I would actually love to make a longer video kind of going through an entire utility belt. So just let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that. Let me know what you think about this video. Show your friends, spread it around. Again, I think that Z smoke and those A smokes are just super cool, and they actually perform a lot better than some of the more traditional ones. So that is basically it. Thank you guys.